Hey everybody, Sam Safa here with Noah Brandt. We're back. We took a summer hiatus. We took 2 weeks off, but we're back in the
We're
booth.
so
Can't get
rejuvenated.
We're pumped. We're
We are
pumped to
we
be
are
back here.
incredibly rejuvenated, Sam. Sam looks like he got a tan. I look whiter than ever. But it is a good time to be back in St. Charles County, to be talking about the goings on of the community. And I mean places like Congress, Sam, they take all of August off. So 2 weeks, that's nothing.
That's nothing. That's nothing. Taking a break in the summer. School is back in. We're here. We're ready to go. We're going to do a push to Christmas. There's a lot to talk about in St. Charles County. And speaking, Noah, of school back in session, we'll lead off with our top story. More resources are coming to St. Charles County. Here's the headline. St. Charles County Council approved $2.2 million for 14 new officer positions and all their law enforcement equipment. We've talked about this in the past, but essentially they're going to use ARPA funds, which is the federal bailout money, for lack of a better term, that passed Congress not too long ago, the American Rescue Plan.
The sort of the COVID money that municipalities and
Like
states
the
got, right?
fourth round of COVID money, though. This wasn't. This
Yeah.
is the American Rescue Plan. They're going to use that money, $2 million of it, to create 14 new roles for school resource officers to be stationed at schools around St. Charles County. Noah, here are the details, the numbers, the statistics, if you will. Currently, today, 9 of the 23 public schools in St. Charles County have school resource officers, but this money will put officers in the rest of the schools. 9 have them, 23 total, but now 23 schools will have officers very soon. I guess this raises the question, Noah. These are tax dollars. There's no mention of private schools. There's no mention of Catholic schools. There's no mention of daycares. Raises that question. But I guess you have to start somewhere, frankly.
Yeah, Sam, that's something else. I mean, I'm glad that they're spending money on something that seems relatively valuable. I think I don't have my daughter is still a baby, so I don't know the feeling of ever sending a child off to school. But even if the sort of incidents where maybe a school resource officer is extremely integral to the safety of children is rare, I think that the peace of mind is close to priceless.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is a good use of the money. Props to the St. Charles County Council for seeing a need and filling it. The police chief for St. Charles County, Kurt Fritz, appears to be behind this. He says, I think it's a good use of money because school safety is our top priority. And this will put a school resource officer in every school in unincorporated St. Charles County, which is going to complement what we already do. So there's the quote from the police chief. I get a chance to speak with him every now and then. I just saw him at the Fallen Officers Memorial that we talked about last year. I guess it was in October. He's a good guy, and I encourage everybody who's listening to give the St. Charles County Police Department a follow. It's a tremendous organization. They've
Yes.
got SWAT. They're all located there, headquartered right off of 79, sort of in North O'Fallon. So check them out.
They share helpful information.
They're doing great work. I've never had a complaint, and every now and then we'll have a Wentzville police officer drive up and down our neighborhood. We'll sometimes get a St. Charles County police officer driving up and down our neighborhood. They're active, and we appreciate it.
Do,
We appreciate the
do you think,
resources.
Sam? Yeah, absolutely. Do you think that the school resource officers are all police officers who are already a part of the force, right? I don't think people are joining the force usually as school resource officers. So I wonder how that 14 new positions, that's a lot. I don't know how large the St. Charles County Police Department is in general, but that's a significant increase, 14. I wonder how it works if an officer wants to become a school resource officer, because I think that once they're assigned to that, that's more or less, at least during the school year, their full-time job, because it's,
I
all
think so.
day.
I
Yeah.
think you have to be a police officer to be a school resource officer because it's my understanding that these guys are armed. What's
Yeah.
the point of having someone there if they're not armed, frankly? So I think they go through all the training. I think they are qualified police officers. I'm not sure how the training works exactly, but it's my understanding that these guys have cop cars. There's one of the schools I know has a school resource officer, is the one right down the road from me. It's a middle school here in Wentzville, and there's a police car, like a Wentzville police car, outside of the school. And so, I guess
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
question, like, is Wentzville providing police protection at that school? Is that a St. Charles County like budget paying for the Wentzville officer to be there? Who knows?
Mm.
They are.
I could see that, yeah. So because it's I live right by Fort Zumwalt West in O'Fallon, and now the parking lot is completely packed every day with the high school kids. But there's always usually two O'Fallon police cars parked in the parking lot every day. And I don't usually see a St. Charles County police car, but there could be one. Sam, another interesting color on the beginning of the school year, and also this is just sort of a propaganda point of mine that I think is important to say at every moment, at every available point. I think that school starts too early. I think it keeps getting earlier. Missouri and St. Charles County is not as bad as some places. Some of my colleagues at my day job live in places like California, and their school started like 3 weeks ago, like
Wow.
the first week of August, which seems really un-American to me. But I'm very firmly that pretty much this coming week, like the very last week of August, is when school should start. But that's not the actual news point. That's just my opinion. The news point is that there has been a lot of communities in the St. Louis area affected by the bus driver shortage. Sam, have you heard about this at all?
I have heard about the bus driver shortage linked in with the workforce shortage in general, but what's the specifics?
Yeah, so there has been, and listen, I'm pretty sure about this, listeners. But if somebody's being affected by this in St. Charles County, let us know and we'll report on it. But I think that St. Charles County is the only area in the metro that has not had to officially cut school bus routes. I've heard of consolidation, right, of having bus drivers drive more routes, but they haven't had to cut routes. I know that there has been school districts in Lincoln County, that there's the Rockwood School District in St. Louis County, and the Fox School District in Jefferson County have all had such bad bus driver shortages that they have had to cut routes. And so I know each of those districts are doing different things, but I think the main thing they're doing is that kids who live within 1 mile of the school no longer get a bus route.
Wow. Does that mean they have to
Yeah.
walk uphill
I
both
mean,
ways?
I think that's the idea, right? Can you be dropped off by someone? But I think the probably why they're doing the 1 mile thing is that, I guess, in a worst case scenario where a parent can't drive, or a guardian can't drive, then you could walk. But I mean, I've seen a lot of people, especially on the Jefferson County big Facebook group that we monitor, seen a lot of people complaining about it. People are saying, Sam, right, you expect my fourth grader to cross a highway to get to school? That's dangerous. So I'm happy that at least I have not seen any of the schools in St. Charles County officially cutting any bus routes, because a lot of people rely on the school bus to get their kid to school safely. It's sort of a part of the social contract with the public school system. But we'll keep monitoring that. And if we're wrong, or if you've heard of any schools that are considering this, let us know. And especially, I know someone who's on the Fox district school board, and I've seen him talk on Facebook about this. It's not because they don't have money or buses. It's literally just because they cannot find drivers. They cannot find any enough drivers to work all their routes.
Sure. Well, I believe that 100% because 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 years ago, there were people to drive the buses. And so I wouldn't expect the buses just to break down out of the blue.
Mm.
Of course, they have the equipment and the money necessary. This is because there are no people. That everybody's retiring. The baby boomers have retiring. My dad is at the very, very end of the baby boomer generation. He was born in
Mm.
1963, and he's the last. Like that's the cutoff for the baby boomers. And he just turned 59. So, and like he's eyeing retirement, and he's the youngest. So the largest generation in American history, arguably, I don't know that for a fact, but the largest generation
That's
that
true.
I'm aware
Yeah,
of in the
that's
20th
true.
century are
In American
retiring out
history,
of the
by far.
workforce.
Yeah.
There's nobody to replace them. We can get into the whole like, will Social Security income collapse by 2040?
It
Probably,
will. And
but
when there's not enough, Sam. Now you've really, between starting school too early and natalism, now we've really hit all my points that I like to talk about my whole life. But simply, it's like the United States is facing a severe underpopulation crisis, and it's funny for
yeah,
people to think about that. But it's just, there used to be, one worker for every 25 old people. Now there's three, and in 20 years it'll be one for one. And that's right, a country that is very tough to take care of because you need working age people to both take care of children and the elderly, and to work the vital parts of sort of the economy that ensure everything keeps on rolling. So, if you're listening to this, have another kid. That's the answer.
We're working on that, Noah. We've got a baby girl due in December. But speaking of overpopulation or underpopulation, this is a tremendous segue because guess what? I live in Wentzville, and I think there are too many people who live in Wentzville. I drive I drive Highway 40 every single day, and we talk about the bottleneck, we talk about the S curve, and we talk about the
Well, we're
I-70
improving it. We're planning, Sam. We're planning for more people, Sam.
Well, we're not only planning for more people, we're trying to take care of the people that live here. So here's the
Yeah,
deal.
yeah.
MoDOT has a plan to fix the S curve. We've talked about that. Separate from the S curve is this interchange at Highway 70 and Highway 64. Go with me in your mind as you're driving. If you're going north on Highway 64 and you want to go 70 west to Columbia, say to a football game, you've got to exit left, right? You've got to exit to your left to get to Highway 70. That throws everybody off. It causes a lot of accidents. It causes a lot of backup. 70 is already backed up going west anyway.
I hate
So
anytime you have to exit the left on the highway. I hate that.
Yeah, that it happens again on I-70 to go to Lambert. You got to exit left. It always throws me off.
Yep.
Going north on 170. But MoDOT has proposed a $122 million project to rebuild the interchange at 70 and 40, and it would reduce traffic congestion and accidents. It was unveiled this week at Wentzville City Hall. Guess what, Noah? I was there for the unveiling. I live in Wentzville.
Wow.
I was there. I talked with Mayor
You live you live under City Hall.
He's a
You
great
live in a
man.
tunnel under City Hall.
I have a little shack right next to City Hall. Tom Blair with MoDOT, the district engineer, said these changes would address safety concerns and they would reduce car accidents, and they would add several new lanes, several ramps, and eliminate the left lane exit. So this is a $122 million project. It's a very big undertaking because every day 75,000 vehicles travel along I-64 south to use the interchange, and more than 60,000 people use I-64 north on the
Wow.
interchange, which is weird. You wonder about the 14,000 people that don't come back every day. But
That is funny. Yeah. What does that mean? I guess that mostly probably means like truckers and everything making one-way journeys.
Yeah, coming
Yeah.
down from Hannibal, I suppose. But so this is partially funded. There's $77 million already allocated for this project, so they're about $50 million short. They're talking about trying to put this project in with the S curve. The S curve is fully funded. We've talked about that. That is happening. That will begin construction. This is a project that wants to be constructed once we have the financing for it. But they're thinking, hey, could they reduce costs by doing these projects at the same time? You would have the same time you would close the roads. You would have the same workers working inside of a 1 mile radius. You could have the same equipment, same transportation.
It would
costs.
definitely be convenient to have the road closed not two separate times in like a year or two period,
Yeah.
It'd be convenient for the people who have to travel on the road for it all to be done at once.
Yeah, I agree. As a Wentzville resident, appreciate that comment from our O'Fallon host. But yeah, that's what I'm hoping for, no doubt. Finally,
We have a sad story, Sam. We have a sad story.
we do have a sad story, and the reason we talk about this is it's simply we want to bring awareness to drunk driving. Don't drink and drive. It's that simple. There was a DWI, a deadly hit and run crash in St. Charles County. This happened after a gentleman was driving on Highway 94 up north, sort of by Boshertown go-karts, and he killed a 23-year-old who was crossing the highway there around 11 p.m. at night. And now let's be clear. He was charged with a DWI, was not convicted, but he did fail a couple sobriety tests, it appears, according to Channel 5. He's being held on a $50,000 bail. So he failed 3 of the 4 field sobriety tests he was given. So
the person that he hit and killed was walking. He wasn't in a car, right?
That's right. He was walking across the highway, as I understand it. 23-year-old Dylan Krinick was killed. It says,
is he from the area? Did it say?
It didn't say. He was walking in
Yeah.
it says he was walking in the middle of Highway 79 north of Vomond Road shortly before 11 when he was struck by a GMC. So I said Highway 94. It's really close to 94, but it was actually Highway 79. But it's a good
How sad.
reminder, you know, especially.
And even it's like I was just gonna say that even it's like I don't know why this guy was walking in the middle of the highway, but it's like when you're the one driving the car, it's on you. It's on you not to hit somebody. So especially extremely such a reminder, just about the drinking and driving. And I think there's a bias in our minds that if you live in like are going to be driving on a less trafficked road, that like, oh, that's okay, that's safer. But in so many ways it's almost more dangerous, whether it's a person like walking, a car, or an animal. Like you need to be very alert, especially driving at night on a more sparse road.
Yeah, it's well said. You know, what's the saying? If you feel different, you're going to drive different. As the holidays approach us,
Mm.
just don't risk it. We hate it when we have to report on folks who pass away. It happens a lot on the highways. Be safe, as safe as you can, and we'll continue to encourage you to do so. But Noah, it's good to be back here. We wrap
So
every
good.
show with something that made us smile. I'll lead on this one because I'm in my new. This used to be my office. I painted it pink. Noah thinks it's white, but it actually is pink. Um,
It's a very faint pink, but it's a very nice color.
it is paint pink, but I spent a lot of time during my hiatus from the SCCC to paint this room. It took 4, maybe 5 coats of paint in various areas. But
Because
we're
I challenge our viewers, especially if you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook, go back and watch a past episode. I mean, Sam, the room was a very dark blue. It was a very dark color.
very masculine, study type of color, but I
Hard to
was
make that color. I mean, for any woman who's tried to go blonde when they have dark hair, they'll know it's tough to like cover up a dark color like that. But you did it, man. That room looks very white now, or
hopefully,
very pink,
hopefully it
I
looks
should
fake.
say.
Yeah, no, it can't. The disinformation board is Noah Brandt here, but that's making me smile. It was good to get out and finish that project. We're glad to be back here. We're also watching Albert Pujols' chase to 700. I think he can make it. I'm
Mm.
excited about that. Noah, what's making you smile?
Sam, during part of my hiatus, I had the chance to go to Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and that was an amazing time. I had never been out west like that, and just got to go to Grand Teton Park and see the mountains and
Beautiful.
bring the wife and baby. And it's truly truly amazing. It's a great argument for the existence of God. Those mountains, they're really 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 gorgeous. And if you're like me and you're just a good Midwesterner who's never been that far out west, hop on a plane or take a car and go to some of our great national parks out there. They're really amazing.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. I haven't had a chance to spend some time out there in a long time, but we've gone to Colorado every now and then. But folks, for Noah Brandt and myself, thanks for listening. We're back now, so you can drop us a comment. You can share this article. You can share this story. Like us on Facebook. You can find us there. You can subscribe to our newsletter, sccc.substack.com. You can drop us an email, scccorrespondent@gmail.com. For Noah Brandt, I'm Sam Saffa. We'll see you next week, everybody.